Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the 66th part of What If Deku Was a Magical Girl Mascot. Quirk, Magical Girl Mascot. The author of this great fanfic is Emma. I believe links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 66, Did We Just Become Best Friends? The class was hoping to do work studies for sure, however the day after the demonstration with Mirio, Aizawa sighed and explained the situation that came up. We had a conference about potential first-year work studies, said Aizawa. Many of the teachers including the principal said don't even think about it. Most of the class groaned and complained. Are you fucking kidding me? Yelled Katsuki. Aizawa just sighed the reaction but then got down to business. Some were of the option that the overprotective route wouldn't help you become strong heroes, so we will allow agencies with strong track records for work studies, said Aizawa. The class was now very excited. Fuck! Groaned Katsuki, who knew Mirko didn't have a good track record as she was her first ever intern, so that wasn't going to help at all. Also Midoriya, said Aizawa, an agency has contacted us and wishes to extend an invitation to perform work studies. What? Me? Asked Izuku. In fact, it is one with a very good track record for one of our students in particular, said Aizawa. Izuku's tail started to wag. Really, who? Asked Izuku. A hero by the name of Sir Nighteye, said Aizawa. Oh wow, said Izuku. His tail wagged throughout the day. Later they were headed towards lunch and Izuku's tail won't stop wagging. Careful, you might hurt your tail, said Tenya. I know. But I didn't expect to get someone asking me to join their work studies, said Izuku. That was when Melissa joined them. Hey guys, she said. Oh, Izuku was happy. Izuku laughed. A hero requested me to for work studies, said Izuku, one named Sir Nighteye. Melissa's eyes widened. Really? He requested you? Asked Melissa. Everyone was surprised by her reaction. After all, she wasn't from Japan, so for her to know a Japanese hero more than likely meant something. You've heard of him, said Achiko. Uncle Might should explain it, said Melissa. Almost on cue, Toshinori showed up with a shout. I am here to talk to young Midoriya. All Might, said Izuku. You want to talk to him about Sir Nighteye, right? Asked Melissa. I do, said Toshinori. Toshinori took Izuku to the teacher's lounge to talk. Sir Nighteye was my sidekick at one point, she explained. Really? Asked Izuku, surprised by this. Yes, honestly we had a falling out, said Toshinori. I won't say why, I think he should explain it. But after my injury we couldn't work together anymore. Izuku nodded, getting that had to with the injury. We patched things up after you bonded with me and he was interested in taking you on for work studies if you had passed the exam, said Toshinori. Izuku's tail once again wagged. He had a really good track record, said Toshinori, and I think you two will get along greatly. Izuku's tail wagged even more. Young Midoriya, you are on the way to becoming a great hero, I know it, said Toshinori. Tears started to pour from Izuku's eyes. Toshinori didn't know how to react. Sorry, but it means so much hearing it from you, cried Izuku. Toshinori laughed at that. The next day, after school, was when the until meeting with Sir Nighteye was. Izuku waited on the dorm's porch as Sir Nighteye's work-study student would be taking him. He wasn't sure who the student, but he was a bit nervous. That was when Togata's face came out of one of the pillars on the porch. Waiting for long? He asked. Izuku jumped in shocked. Togata disappeared and reappeared on the steps. Sorry for scaring you, he laughed. Oh hey, said Izuku. Are you ready to go? Asked Togata. Wait, are you? Asked Izuku. I've been working with Sir for a while, said Togata. Izuku's tail started to wag. He's the one you do work studies with? He asked. Sure am. Aid Togata. Izuku was now really excited since he could learn a lot from it. Togata led the way to Sir Nighteye's agency. Izuku started to get a bit nervous as they got closer as he did look up more about Sir Nighteye. He appeared to be a very strict man with a rather mean stare. I would tell him the best way is to make him laugh, but considering he requested you I wouldn't worry, said Mirio. Izuku took a breath. Trust me, it's going to be fine. Sir isn't one to do this stuff unless he really means it, said Mirio. Mirio brought Izuku to Sir Nighteye's office. And when they opened the door they found a young woman who had blue skin and blue hair and some sort of strange device that was a tickle torture machine. Oh, looks like Bubble Girl didn't make him laugh, said Mirio like it was nothing. Izuku was nervous, especially since Sir Nighteye looked at him. However, that was when Izuku noticed something on the wall. And oh way! He yelled, it's the All Might 10th anniversary poster. It's something that was never sold. His tail started to wag like crazy at the sight of the rare poster. You recognized that poster? Asked Sir Nighteye. Yeah. I'm a big fan, said Izuku. I know it's weird I bonded with him but... No, I understand, said Sir Nighteye. He noticed his tail wagging. Your tail wags? Asked Sir Nighteye. Yeah, whenever I'm happy. It has a mind of its own sometimes, said Izuku. Sir Nighteye chuckled at that. Mirio went to help out the sidekick named Bubble Girl. Wait, is that the magical girl kid? Asked Bubble Girl, who was kind of out of it. Sure is, laughed Mirio. It was clear that Mirio was getting Bubble Girl out of there so Izuku could talk to Sir Nighteye. Once they out, Sir Nighteye knew what he had to do. Izuku Midoriya, he said very seriously. Izuku was nervous. But then Sir Nighteye bowed to him. I can't thank you enough. You truly did save All Might's life, said Sir Nighteye. Well, I don't know about that, said Izuku. Sir Nighteye stood up. No, it's true, said Sir Nighteye. You see, my quirk is called foresight. I can view the future and there is due drawback. Until recently I thought it was impossible to change the future I saw, until you bonded with All Might. What? Asked Izuku. You see, when he had first gotten his injury I saw his future. I saw him dying by the end of next year, said Sir Nighteye. However, in that vision he was still a man and still very sickly, so in other words, me bonding with him changed the future you saw, said Izuku. Sir Nighteye nodded. Believe that your powers might have the power to change fate. He told me about how you treasure the bonds you have and that they make you and your partners stronger, said Sir Nighteye. Izuku didn't know what to say, however this little thing popped into his head. You're a fan of Pretty Ure, aren't you? He asked. I am, said Sir Nighteye. This doesn't offend you, does it? No, I always figured that I would work with one heroes who are fan Pretty Ure, said Izuku. Near Nighteye nodded. Also, out of curiosity, if you were to join, would you bond with Bubble Girl? Said Sir Nighteye. She would have to ask me, and she would have to a very good reason since the bond is permanent, said Izuku. Even if does give me Sailor Mercury vibes. Sir Nighteye nodded and did chuckle a little at that last remark. So tell me, Midoriya, you noticed my poster. Now I need to know something, said Sir Nighteye, giving him a look. Izuku gulped, getting a bad feeling. Turns out the feeling was over nothing. Meanwhile, with Tashinori, it was her day off from UA, so she was performing hero work. That was when she got a bad feeling. What is it? Is it a villain? She thought. Meanwhile at UA, Katsuki was helping Kirishima with his homework when she suddenly shuddered. What's wrong? Asked Kirishima. I suddenly feel very annoyed, said Katsuki, and I don't know why. Maybe it was Mineta, said Kirishima. Something tells me it wasn't, said Katsuki with her eye twitching. Sometime later at Sir Nighteye's agency, Togata was worried as the two of them were in the office for much longer than he thought they would be. That was when the door opened and smiling Izuku with his tail wagging left holding high contract for work studies. Wow! That wasn't the reaction I was expecting, said Togata. Actually our interview so speak wasn't a normal one, said Sir Nighteye. He ended up giving me really hard All Might trivia. Laughed Izuku, I didn't get all of them but I got most of them. Though All Might was the one who gave him the answer about one of the inanimate objects he was once turned into. Said Sir Nighteye, though I am impressed you know about the jar opening competition at the chili cook-off he participated in. It's such a fun story that I can't help to like it, said Izuku. You do have a point, said Sir Nighteye. Then we just ended up spending the rest of the time talking about All Might, said Izuku, also my quirk. I did tell him a lot about my quirk, but it was mostly obscure All Might facts, we lost track of time. Togata laughed. It was indeed true, Izuku did tell him about how he used one for all that it could power him up, but he could also spread the power to his partners which was what gave them the power up during the Kamino fight. That fact impressed him quite a bit. On slow days we should have more conversations like this, said Sir Nighteye. We should, said Izuku with his tail wagging. You two should exchange personal emails, joked Togata. Actually, said Izuku blushing. We already did, said Sir Nighteye. Oh, said Togata with a sweat drop who didn't expect that outcome. Still Izuku got his work studies, form side and he was extremely happy. He later got back to the dorms and due to his tail everyone knew he was in a good mood. Things went well, giggled Achiko. He's a bigger All Might fan than I am, said Izuku, his collections is so cool. Well the stuff he has on display in his office. I'm sure his personal collections is way cooler, said Izuku. And I think I know where my annoying feeling came from, thought Katsuki. Izuku's telepathy wasn't active so he didn't hear it. That was when Aizawa came into the dorm common room. I have some announcements, said Aizawa, Uraraka, Tsuyu. Hato wanted to talk to you, Kirishima, Amajiki wanted to as well. The three students were surprised and a little confused but had good feelings about it. Also Tokoyami, Hawks has requested you to do work studies with him, said Aizawa. Everyone looked at the bird-headed boy who nodded, as it was well known he did his work studies with the hero. The three left to head to the Class 3A dorms, the two girls came back with Achiko looking very excited though it was clear from Tsuyu's body language she was excited. We're got work studies interview, said Achiko. Really? Said Izuku. She asked the hero she does work studies with and she wants to meet up, said Achiko. That amazing. Which hero? Asked Izuku. Ryukyu, said Tsuyu. That's amazing, said Izuku happy for his two partners. Katsuki grumbled. As it turned out that Achiko or Tsuyu couldn't do it, as Achiko's weren't able to do work studies and it was a terrible time for the magnificent mermaids that having a work studies student wouldn't be a good idea during typhoon season. Not too long afterward Kirishima. I might have gotten work studies, said Kirishima excited. Great, muttered Katsuki. The internship he had didn't do work studies as all so that was out of the question for him. Hey! I'm sorry, said Kirishima. You have nothing to apologize for, muttered Katsuki. Yeah, it's your fault that Katsuki is jealous. I have decided not to do work studies for my own reasons, said Tenya. I agree, said Shoto. Yeah, but you two make sense, muttered Katsuki. Neither knew what to say at that. Thankfully Kirishima realized something that would help Katsuki. Hey! Work studies are going to interfere with some of my schoolwork. Said Kirishima, I could use some help. Fine, you have a point. Muttered Katsuki. Everyone's sweat dropped at that. Don't worry Kaken, I'm sure it will all work out. Said Izuku. And little did they know was that their work studies would all collide in a very unexpected way. And it would all begin on the first day of Izuku's work studies. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 67. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.